Goldman, the whole of Australia was riding the Boomers wave. Did you feel that there, or were you sort of cut off from it a bit?
No, we definitely felt it, as we always do in international competition. I think this one was more because there'd been build up. You know, we'd been fourth a couple of times. We'd beat the USA in the pre-tournament games, and we could feel it building. And you know, you'd get messages from back home, and everyone would say, "Hey, this is big news back here." But it probably hit us the most when you know, we won the medal. And everyone's looking at their phones, and it's just pages and pages and pages of messages, more so than a championship or a big game or anything like that. So we felt the love from back home, and so happy that we could finally get a medal.
No, it was fantastic. And I tell you what, you were a very determined team and focused. Even Paddy Mills, you know, there was no bit of fun there early on. We just got to get to this game, get it done, win this one and move on. Very focused, CG.
Yeah, I mean, there's been years and years and years of sacrifice and work put into this. To put it into something you might understand, Bill,
Yes.
Normally, you know, throughout the tournament, we got a couple of days between games. The boys might have a quiet beer to just settle down after a game, talk about it. There was not one drink had during the whole Olympics until the very back end. So 5 or so games, nothing like that. So the boys were focused and ready to roll and tried to make up for it afterwards.
Were you part of the village, or did you have your own accom?
Yeah, we were in the village. We were looked after well. It was a really cool atmosphere. You know, when we came back with the medals, a heap of the remaining athletes came out from the apartment block and were blasting music and ready to celebrate with us. So being in the village was special. It was great.
Were you aware of what was going on in the other sports of the Olympics, like the female swimmers just completely shooting the lights out? Were you able to get across all that?
Skateboarding.
Yeah, we 100% were. And, you know, if there was a big swimming final or, you know, a big event that was on, people would gather downstairs in front of the big TVs in front of the Australian building. We'd all try to socially distance, wear masks, and cheer everyone on. So in that regard, the Olympics was very similar to Rio. You know, that Aussie spirit was there and a big team mentality. We just had to be careful with a few of the COVID things.
So Jess Fox, for instance, and her incredible bronze and then the gold, did she come back to where you were? Were you able to get around those sort of stories?
Yeah, absolutely. And when medalists came back to the village, the people that weren't out competing or training or resting and sleeping for their events, they'd come downstairs and welcome them home. So quite often the boys would be having a nap and you just hear a tremendous roar and you'd know that someone's either won a medal or one of the medalists has come back to the village and was starting to celebrate.
Are you one of the boys that snuck out to the convenience store to get a couple of frothies because you'd ran out?
Well, we found out that was not allowed a little too late, but no, Bill, we didn't go out for anything.
No, well, I saw that.
Sparkling water was what the boys were after. We were after sparkling waters. We were trying our bloody hearts out to get sparkling water, but we managed to come across.
Apparently it's called Kirin, I think, or Sapporo. There's sparkling
Kirin,
water over there.
Mate,
it's different colour as well.
Surely you're allowed to go down to the 7-Eleven or wherever it is, Jim, and buy some frothies. Come on, wow. Hey, I'll tell you who we love. Brian Goorjian, isn't he a great coach? What's his best attribute?
He is he's a fantastic motivator.
Yep.
And just can say one or two sentences. You know, his pre-game speeches aren't long, but they lock you in on the target, the goal at hand. He'll give you 3 things, focus on it, get you charged up, and the boys are just chomping at the bit to go out there.
Yeah, good.
One of the best speeches he gave was after we lost to the USA.
Yeah.
And, you know, he said some things, and we were, after a tough 40-minute game, we were ready to go out and play for bronze straight away. So he did a fantastic job at that, as did the other coaches as well.
Did you see the great vision of him coming to the quarantine village?
I did. After a 10-hour flight and not much sleep the night before, he wouldn't have known what was going on.
Yes.
Yeah, did you see
No, I
that?
didn't
How
see it.
cool.
No, no.
All the other athletes, I think most of them were swimmers, weren't they? Goldman obviously realised it was him.
Yeah.
And they started screaming from their
Did they?
rooms,
Oh,
boomers,
great.
boomers. It was really cool.
Apparently, it was a nice little speech that after he spoke about it. I have heard that, Goldie, where he said, let's get whinging and why us and all that. We've got to get up for the next game. We've got to win the bronze here. So I don't want to hear about any bloody worrying about losing that game against US. We're fired up for this next game.
I'll tell you what we're doing, Fat. We're having a little break here, Goldman, because I don't know whether you quite realise the impact your performance had on a man we love. He parades up and down here on Clarendon Street.
Got a big head.
Massive head, Gazy. So we're gonna play that for you when we come back.
Yep.
It's the Rush Hour, Triple M. James Brayshaw and Billy Brownless. This is Triple M's Rush Hour, and we are joined by bronze medalist Chris Goulding.
Oh, no, one of the great stories of the Olympics, there were thousands of brilliant stories, but the Boomers were superb. Our first ever medal for the men at an Olympic Games. And I don't know whether you realised, Goldie, you probably didn't because you were flat out playing. But Big Drewy Gaze back here.
Jim.
Well, for a start, he was on the late night edition of the Olympic coverage, and some of it was
Good.
and some of it was shit.
The boys tuned in a couple nights. We tuned in a couple nights.
When you won the bronze, he was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
No, I think of those that have been along for the journey, that have their DNA on this. There's so many that you look back on that toiled when you don't get a cent for playing the game. For me, I am so grateful that, and it is tough, but before the game, I called up my dad just to hear him talk about what this means, and nothing to do with him, just about how this is going to be good for Australia and Australian basketball, and another tangible bit of evidence to say that we have arrived as a sport.
Hey, Goldie, I was watching it. It went for about 5 minutes. It was unbelievable. And Big Gazy started channeling Ray Borner,
Yes.
Larry Singstock.
Palavinsky.
It was so cool because you could see how much it meant to him.
Yeah, it was. And you know, we've had messages, we've messaged back and forth with people that have influenced our Boomers career, and all the players have done this. And he's right. You know, we wouldn't be in this position if it weren't for the Boomers that came before us. So to see that emotion came out of us, and it just shows how deep the Boomers culture is, that, you know, however many decades after Gazy's stopped playing, he still feels the same way that he's there and won it with us. So it was pretty cool.
Hey, what's that around your neck?
It's my new Dal.
Oh, there it is, Jim. How good. That is the
Darling.
bronze medal.
It is.
Put it up
Darling
again.
Olympia.
Yeah.
That is so
There
cool.
she is.
Nuts. I
It looks
love
good.
that. Jeez, that's good.
It smells of beer. I can smell it from here.
Yeah, she got she had a couple drinks as well.
Hey, some boys had a nice, well, our man Jock Landale, of course, your teammate, had that good a bloody tournament. He's going to the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, it's massive news. Been a big goal of his for quite some time, and one of the reasons why he came back to Australia to have a really good season with us at Melbourne United, get in a really good space physically and mentally, and then push for this Olympics and NBA contract. So really happy for him. I think he's just trying to freeload off everything of Paddy. Paddy's going to leave his house and his car, so Jock wants to move in for free. But yeah, really happy for him as well.
And Matisse, tell us about him, because he lived in Sydney, I think, from age 2 to 8. But did he get the Aussie spirit? Did he love it all, being involved with the Boomers?
Yeah, he did. I think he was a little taken back at first, like, what's going on here? There's no heavy rap music being played. You know, we're listening to Men at Work and Jimmy Barnes and John Farnham on the bus to games. So that probably took him back a little bit, but just an amazing athlete, amazing person as well. Just he dove headfirst into everything that we do as a team and a culture. And yeah, he was such a good player, such a big piece for us. And we're pretty lucky to have him as an Aussie.
Oh, and Paddy Mills. Just,
Patrick.
I think the nation was already obsessed with him, Goldie, but what a tournament he put together.
Yeah, and a lot of added pressure, flag bearer,
Yep.
a lot of media commitments and everything that came with being one of the faces of our Olympic team. So to then go out there under all that pressure and scrutiny and back it up and have probably the best Olympic performance, basketball Olympic performance in a game that mattered so much was amazing. At one stage I was like, hey, Paddy is rolling. And I looked up, it was the start of the third quarter and he was already in the 30s.
Yeah.
So just an amazing performance.
Hey, I know we all know how much you love your golf, and we chat about it a lot when you come in. Did you see Leash and Cam Smith while you're over there?
Hannah?
I did. I was chuckling along at Cam Smith's at a haircut. I didn't see him in person. They were staying a couple of hours out. They weren't staying in the village.
Oh, right, okay.
No.
Nice 6-star hotel luxury for the boys. I was following along with the golf. Cam Smith put in a great performance.
Yeah.
I was hoping and hoping he'd get up there for a medal, but just good Aussie boys.
Oh, yeah.
What about did you get any photos with any of the Team USA or any autographs, Goldie?
Nah, Bill, come on, mate.
Come on, Bill, he's competing against him.
KD.
We beat him just before. We wanted to
Well,
beat him again. I ain't getting a bloody
sure.
photo. Come on.
You'd be doing something. Anyone in the village you saw, you just went and give us a photo?
Nah, Bill.
Hey,
No.
what sort of question's that? That's like in 1992, you going up to John Worsfold pre-grand final and going, Woosha,
No.
reckon you can have
Sign
a
me
photo?
boots.
Yeah. What about this?
Get Gary Ablett's autograph, I would have, or something like that. You don't go to the Olympic Village every day. Anyway, what's going on with Dellavedova now? Hard to say that. Is he coming to the United or what?
Yeah, absolutely. He's on a plane now. He went home for one night to get his family and then fly back to Australia. So he'll be landing soon. He'll be in quarantine in Sydney. I dare say Delhi's probably got a better room than me, but he'll be in with you boys in no time. So we're excited to have him at Melbourne United, a big addition for us.
Bloody oath. So what you got 9 more? I don't want to make that sound bad because it already sounds bad enough. Then you're back to Melbourne, and what then happens? What's the program
Have
look
a
like?
spell?
I wish I had 9. I got 11 more days.
Oh, my
but,
God. I'm trying to get 9. Once you get 9 done, it's only 2 left.
yeah.
You know,
All
when
my
you're doing
family,
shuttle runs and they say you got to do 40, you say, oh, it's only 35. And then when you finish that one, you think, oh, I've only got 5 left. It's how you trick your own mind, Goldie. You can use that if you want. What do you do when you get back here?
I'm tricking myself into trying to do some push-ups in the room at the moment. But I'm going to spend about a week up in Brisbane. All my family's up here. All my wife's family's up here. So spend a week up and then straight into preseason. Our season starts in the middle of October, or is planned to anyway. So it's a fine line between celebrating and staying in shape.
Pleasure and pain, I think it is. It's a fine line between pleasure and pain, Jim.
Oh, what the hell? You've missed this, Gold, haven't you? While you've been winning medals, you've missed this behaviour.
He's saying that with a broken wrist. I don't know what he's been up to.
No one knows.
Well, we've been in lockdown
No
for a
one
while.
knows.
His wife and daughter waved at him from the window. Is that right, Goldie?
Yeah. I'm on level 14, so my daughter couldn't see me. But
So they're
managed to see her
downstairs,
for the
and that's
first
the only
time.
time you see him. It's a bit harsh. You'd let him in for a night or two, wouldn't you, Jim?
It's why it's so bloody
Be having
tough.
another kid then.
Hey, Goldie, it's not possible for us to be more proud of you
No,
because you're our
exactly.
mate, but also the team and what you achieved. It was just completely insane. Enjoy every bit of that, and hopefully we get you out of quarantine and down here to have a beer with us.
Yep.
Sounds good, boys. Thanks for having me.
Well
Send
done,
him off
Goldie.
in style.
Good on you, mate. There it is.
There it is.
Go and have a beer. Let's go.
It does make you proud when you know someone.
Oh, of course it does.
Like you tell people, I know him.
Goldie's our man.
Yeah, he's our man.
Bloody oath
Exactly.
he is.
Great man.
Brilliant.
Well done.
Loved it.
It's the Rush Hour with JB and Bill on Triple M.